Hello IOD community and welcome to another DIY tutorial. Today is part 3 of our 4-part series using the IOD Oak Leaves and Acorns mold. We're going to be making the base wreathing for the pumpkin and that forms the centerpiece of our table. If you missed the images, go ahead and scroll back so you can see those or check them out in the blog. We will show you how to do the molded pumpkin in video number 4, so definitely come back for that. But today we'll work on creating a wreath base to nestle that pumpkin in. Since our pumpkin is 12 inches in diameter, we are making a 12-inch wreath. We are using a round wooden cutting board that we picked up on Amazon. And again, that's 12 inches. Of course, you can use something that you have laying around the house. Maybe you found something thrifted. And if you're using a different pumpkin, then just be mindful of the size. You want to make sure that the wreath is going to be large enough that the pumpkin can sit in that base. So just adjust accordingly if you're using something different. And we're going to go ahead and mix up our resin. Follow the instructions for your resin. Make sure to mix very thoroughly, get the bottom, get the sides. That's one of the common issues if you're having issues with resin is improper mixing and also improper measuring. You can see that we use the scale so that we know exactly the 1-to-1 ratio because we don't want to risk any issues. We used a quick set resin today, so you can see that Olivia has let those cure and she's popping them out. We've done a variety of the smaller and medium-sized leaves with some acorns and some of the acorns and leaves. You're going to want a good variety, including some bigger leaves for this wreathing. And we're also going to work in batches if you're working with resin. We used resin today because we wanted the leaves to go over the side of our wood plank. That way the pumpkin has plenty of room to nestle in. If you wanted to use air dry clay, you definitely could. You would just want a larger base. So for this one, maybe bump it up to a 14-inch round so that you have plenty of room to support those leaves. Because the resin, of course, is going to hold up if you're bumping anything on the table and you don't want to ruin all of your hard work. So you can see that we're bending these leaves so that they lay flat over the cutting board. We are using the big leaves for our base layer. It is important to make sure that your resin has not set all of the way. So you want to pop those out once they're cured but malleable. So once it's opaque, pop those out while they're still bendable. If you let them, dry for 24 hours, it might be harder to get them to bend. And you do need a little bit of play for this one. So we're going to go around and place these around the cutting board, not plate, cutting board until we're happy with it. You can see Olivia's got a good mix of big leaves, small leaves, and then we've kind of popped some of those acorn leaves around, adding some layering here for a really nice wreath look. You could do it all one flat layer, but you're not going to get as much of the natural wreath feeling. So definitely don't be afraid to use layers for this. Once you're happy with how everything's looking, you're going to start doing the Titebond quick and thick. You might need a little bit extra on your second layer just to make sure they get a good hold. And you just want to work slowly through each section so you don't lose your composition because you do have some layers. So you need to glue the bottom one down and then the top one. Once those are all in place nice and good, it is time to move on to our next step. We're going to be using our gold leaf paint and painting the entire project here. So we'll start with that base and then we'll get in the nooks and crannies around our molds. Definitely refer to our gold leaf paint as the stinky paint, and because of that we definitely recommend doing this one in a well ventilated area. Get into all those nooks and crannies on the molds, and if you have a helper like Sarah, you can do this twice as fast. An important note on the gold leaf paint is you do need an odorless mineral spirit to get the paint out of the brushes. So definitely pick that up because you want to be able to use these for years to come. All right, once you've got that really nice and good in all of the crannies and you covered all of your wreathing and base layer, it's going to be time for our next step. We are going to take a deep brown chalk paint and we're going to be using that to create a rich patina over this metallic gold. So go ahead and start brushing that on, and you can go and portions and wipe back with a lint-free cloth. So you can see here, they're just painting on that brown chalk paint and then wiping it back. And they're going to do the same over the leaves, and you can see how you get a really nice metallic with that brown and the crevices, and just a really nice patina that's going to look beautiful as the base for our pumpkin. So just keep working this until it's in a place that you like. So keep going in sections, adding the paint, and then wiping back. If there's an area that doesn't look quite right, just go ahead and go back in there and work it until it is just how you want it. We're going to set this aside to dry, and once it's dry, we're going to come back in with a sealer. Today we're going to use a satin sealer. Of course, if you're not sure what sealer to use, the Creative Tribe is a great place to ask what would work best with the paint that you're using, or you can also get in touch with your local stockist. They usually have plenty of recommendations and can help you with that choice. Choose satin specifically because we want to keep that metallic shine. So do keep that in mind when you're choosing which sealer is going to be best. All right, that sums up this project. We're going to set it aside to dry, and we're going to be finishing this centerpiece with our molded pumpkin. So we'll be using the IOD Oak Leaves and Acorns mold again in the next video. So be sure to join us there, where we will complete our Thanksgiving decor for our tables. This is really a workhorse. All of these tutorials are one mold, so you're getting so much value. We hope you're having fun following along, and we cannot wait to see your beautiful fall tables.